There you go.
Well, that was a very fun live auction. What a beautiful room of people and what incredible toasts we've heard. It's clear so many have been touched by this cause. I'm here tonight to share how I've been touched by the American Heart Association, why I am so passionate about its mission. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Liz de Lima. I am a daughter, a sister to Kathy and 4 brothers, an auntie to 14, a friend, a colleague, a mentor, and I am a heart disease and stroke survivor. I suppose you could say my relationship with the Heart Association has truly come full circle. I never expected that I would be here before you tonight speaking as a survivor of both a cardiac event and a stroke. I should have expected it because my father died from a congenital heart defect at the age of 42, leaving my mother a widow with 6 children. In addition to having this family history of heart disease, I was working for the Heart Association for 12 years. My professional life was spent committed to moving the mission of the American Heart Association forward. I knew my family history and the statistics. I thought I was doing enough to avoid heart disease myself. The details of what I did wrong are subject for another time and place. I knew the facts, but I was still surprised the fateful night that changed my life forever. Thanksgiving weekend in 2009, I flew home to visit my family in Redondo Beach, California. My mother and brother picked me up, and once home, I began to unpack the groceries while my family went off to bed. At 11 p.m., I decided that a nap on the couch might be in order before I finished in the kitchen. After a few minutes, I found that I was very restless and unable to relax. Both my arms ached from the elbows to my shoulders. My upper back was hurting, and then I began to feel nauseous. First, I thought my asthma was acting up because I was wheezing. Almost simultaneously, I had 2 thoughts. First, I'm getting the flu, and then, OMG, this could be a heart problem. You see, this was the year of the M1H1 virus. I've heard news reports warning that if you suffered from asthma and felt as if you were coming down with the flu, to call 911. Don't waste time going to the ER or calling your doc. The reality hit me that calling 911 was critical no matter what was wrong. I handed the phone to my mom and had her call. In minutes, 8 EMTs were at my door, and 4 of them immediately said flu and commented on my trouble breathing. They took my vitals, and I could see that they were focusing on flu and stroke. I said it might be the flu, but please check my heart, I want an EKG. You see, I know that women's symptoms of a cardiovascular event present themselves differently than men do. The women's symptoms are much more subtle than men's. They are not at all the classic crushing chest pain of the movies. The EMTs did the EKG and didn't indicate any results. they were right. EMTs and paramedics and firefighters do need to be good looking to be. And I ask you these questions. It's true, it's true. And I said, I do remember saying, oh no, and I started to slip away. The next thing I remember is waking up in ICU on Thanksgiving Day, the next day, surrounded by my family and friends, and being told that I had suffered cardiac arrest. Simply speaking, cardiac arrest means your heart stops. Fortunately, my call to 911 meant that the paramedics were kneeling, the cute one included, kneeling in front of me when my heart stopped. And they were able to immediately use an AED to bring me back. They told me I had also undergone an angioplasty to have a stent inserted into my blocked artery. Complications of pneumonia set in while I was in ICU, and my breathing continued to be a problem. I was sent home for a few days, but continued to have breathing difficulties. I found out much later that this was a continuation of my heart failure. I returned to the hospital, and after 17 hours in ER and days in ICU, my breathing was still labored. The doctors decided to intubate me, and during that procedure, a clot formed, and I suffered a major stroke. I did not receive TPA, and to this day do not know exactly why not. When I next awoke, I discovered that the left side of my body, and specifically my arm, leg, foot, and hand, would not move. I overheard a couple of nurses speaking and heard the word stroke, and asked my sister right here if I had heard correctly, and she confirmed my fear that I had suffered a stroke. The other immediate effect of the stroke was short-term memory loss and an intense craving for Jamba Juice. Evidently, I drove everyone crazy asking for this, even giving them directions to the Jamba Juice. The next 4 months of my life were spent in rehab facilities in Southern California. Now let me clarify that rehab in my case means brain injury, not what you hear about the celebrities these days. It's not alcohol, drugs, or sex rehab. I soon realized that I could not return home, nor would I return to work at the AHA. I would need to move here to Portland to be close to my family. They agreed to partner with me in my continued rehabilitation. They too would also have to live with a stroke and its aftermath. Since arriving in Portland last March, I've continued on the road to recovery through physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Thanks to the support of my therapist, one of whom sits here tonight, Sarah. And now work at home with help of my family, who are my unpaid therapists, as I continue my journey to recovery. Old friends and family continue to encourage me by reminding me that I am stubborn and will get through this. Right, Nancy and Nana? And I know that the stubbornness, coupled with the knowledge from my work with AHA, saved my life that evening in 2009 when I insisted on the EKG. That the EMTs look at me one more time. AHA taught me the importance of the chain of survival, which began with that 911 call, and continued when the EMTs used their AEDs, and the doctors performed an angioplasty. So yes, AHA advocacy, education, prevention, and science kept me alive, but there is so much more to do. Today, in the United States, we lose 1 woman each minute to a cardiovascular disease. That is a total of 520 $25,600 a year, or to put it very clearly, since we began an hour ago, that's 60 women. Is this acceptable to you? I don't think so. It's not acceptable to me. But the American Heart Association can only do so much. Your support is critical in preventing others from having a less successful outcome than I have had. So in closing, for every woman, man, or child affected by heart disease, think of how many others will be impacted by their pain or loss. The other speakers have asked you to raise your glasses to toast. I'm asking you to raise your paddle tonight to help this cause. I know, and now I am returning to my table to raise my paddle. I thank you in advance for your generosity and support of this incredible organization. Thank you for your attention.
Decide what level. We're going to have different levels of participation, different dollars amounts.